Good morning and welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 127. It's Saturday, messy hair, and I don't care. I slept in this morning. I'm still a little groggy. And I'll tell you why I slept in this morning. Because at 8, I think that's what time I rolled out of bed. Because at 3 a.m., I was awakened by the chirp of a smoke alarm. No, it wasn't going off. Rather, the battery went dead, and so conveniently, our smoke alarm batteries seemed to die at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. So that was annoying. And it was the one, fortunately, it was near our bedroom, but I still had to go downstairs. My wife had already woke up. Apparently, the smoke alarm woke the dog up first, which woke my wife up. I sleep like a rock. If rocks sleep, that's how I sleep. Nothing wakes me up. But this eventually woke me up. So I was stumbling around upstairs, found the smoke alarm that was beeping, heard my wife yelling at my dog to come in the house. Apparently the dog woke up and was just ready to go outside and sniff around. So I had to get the step ladder, exchange batteries, test it. Of course, beep, 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 when you test. So that woke me up. That really woke me up. So I was up for probably an hour till 4 a.m. Oh, I haven't had enough coffee. That's only my second sip. So I finally got back to sleep. I had some wacky dreams this morning too. One actually did involve baseball. It was weird, and it was like with random people throughout my life. Like a lot of my high school friends were in this. Some of my work colleagues from like 10 years ago, just kind of all. I don't. Maybe it was in that 3 to 4 a.m. window that I was awake and on my phone, looking at Facebook. It was probably all of the people that I saw on their Facebook updates that appeared playing baseball in my dream. So anyway, enough about that. So today I just wanted to talk about some random things. I actually took last night off from the hobby for the most part. I did. My wife and I watched some shows. We watched the Netflix movie Holiday, which is pretty good. It was funny. I'm a sucker for Christmas movies. I've mentioned that before. I love the Hallmark Christmas movies, and I love the comedy Christmas movies that come out in the theaters. Typically, we go to the theater to watch. We saw The Night Before at the theaters. We saw Office Christmas Party, which has moved into my top 5 all-time favorite Christmas movies. What else did we go see? Oh, Last Christmas with the woman from Game of Thrones. That was actually kind of a depressing at the end. So yeah, I think those are the last 3 years that we've gone. So I think a couple of these that were released on Netflix and maybe Hulu were supposed to go to the theaters, but obviously I don't even know if theaters are open. But and if they are, we're not going. That was good. And then we watched, there's a show, I think it's on HBO, Industry, which is pretty good. So we watched that. I did list a few things in my eBay store, just a few things. So I wasn't too active last night. So I've got some catching up. I've got some trade packages to get sent out this morning. Some eBay sales, which I want to talk about as far as sales go. Actually, I have a lot to talk about this morning because yesterday I teased a Len Casper story, so I'll get to that. So I want to talk about, I'm going to write this stuff down so I don't forget. I actually started this. I was still groggy. I think that last sip of coffee opened up my mind. So Len Casper, sales, and the main title of this Hobby Evolution episode, which is the products I'm passing on. Thanks to Jenny, she actually included me in a tweet this like 10 minutes ago about Allen and Ginter Chrome. And I said I passed on it. And I'm like, I'm going to talk about that because that's actually come up a couple times. Actually, that was the third instance that something similar popped up in my Twitter feed. Oh, that's good coffee. So, Len Casper, no longer with the Cubs. He's now the radio play-by-play man for the White Sox. Lucky. I love Len Casper. I have absolutely no ill feelings toward him. Awesome guy. And so my Len Casper story, this is, and I had to look up, I would have thought this would have happened earlier in my career in radio, but I saw that he was hired by the Cubs in 2005. So I know the window that this particular instance happened between 2005 and likely 2007. And I say that because I started at the radio station in 2003. I took over as sports director in like 04, 05. And then our company sold the station I was working for in 2008. So I was going back and forth between the city I was working and the stations that I was taking over. So I was doing double duty most of 2008. So it would have had to have happened in 05, 06, or 07. So what happened was during a WGN Chicago Cubs baseball game in one of those years, 05, 06, 07, there was a rain delay. And WGN would typically offer up alternate Cubs programming during rain delays. This particular day, they had played basically a music video of the Chicago Cubs revolving third baseman. Okay, so this was, so it would have had to have been 05 because Aramis Ramirez really took over that position around that time. And he was a stalwart at third base, and now we really haven't had that revolving door. So I'm really narrowing down this time frame. So it was third baseman since Santo. And it was, I don't know the number, I should look it up, but there were dozens and dozens of third basemen for the Cubs throughout the years, and some, names that it's like, oh, I remember that guy. Oh, I don't remember that guy, which is the most part. So it was sung to the tune of "We Didn't Start the Fire." And it was awesome because A, I love that song, and B, I love the obscure Cubs third baseman and the obscure references from the late 70s and early 80s. And C, they used a lot of baseball card photos in this video. So I had just seen, that video, had no idea because I think I just saw it in passing, or maybe I missed the beginning or end where it was explained. So I wanted to play that on my morning show. So I reached out to WGN and I asked for the sports department. So I was given like a automated menu for sports. So within this automated menu was Len Casper, his extension. So I pressed whatever number to reach Len Casper, and it went to voicemail. I explained what I was calling about, gave him my number, and went about my day. I went to lunch, returned from lunch, and my office was toward the front of the building next to like the receptionist lobby area. So there was a note on my desk, missed a call, and it was from and it just said Lynn sell. So I wasn't expecting, I'd kind of forgot about this whole calling Len Casper, and it wasn't top of mind things. So I saw Lynn and I reached out and I asked, maybe Heidi was our receptionist. I said, who called? She said, I don't know, some Lynn. And I'm like, man or woman? She said, well, it was a man. She goes, I think it was it's something about baseball. So, okay. Was it Len? Yeah, it could have been. And that's his cell phone number. He said to call him back. Len Casper gave me his cell phone number to call him back. So I called Len and he explained what it was, and it was a WGN personality who recorded this. And I think his name was his like stage name for his comedic acts was like Skip something. And so Skip was like the third string play-by-play announcer for the Cubs broadcast, but he's never made it to the broadcast team, which was his kind of his shtick. So, and I was able to find it, I think, on YouTube. And this was back in 05 when hardly anything was on YouTube, it seemed. You couldn't, like now you can go on YouTube and shoot, you can subscribe to YouTube TV and watch TV through YouTube and watch movies. Back in 05, it wasn't like that. So I did find it, was able to play it, and Len Casper called me back. Not only did he call me back, but he gave me his cell phone number. And, you know, when I called him back, super nice guy. It was, you know, it was like talking to your neighbor. It was a very cool experience, and forever grateful for that moment of time that Len Casper gave me. Reached out to answer a silly question from a small town radio guy. Very cool. So Len Casper will be greatly missed. And Zach is with us this morning. You are very lucky to have him. And Jason Benetti and Steve Stone, an awesome combo. This almost pains me to say, but from a baseball broadcasting team standpoint, I like Jason Benetti and Steve Stone better than Len Casper and Jim Deshaies. That hurts to say. Jason Benetti and Steve Stone are freaking awesome. The White Sox are extremely lucky to have them, and now Len Casper on their radio team. I am insanely jealous of the White Sox. So Zach, you are very lucky. So that was my Len Casper story. I want to talk about, before I get to the products, I want to talk about taxes. Now, I am not a tax man, but I see routinely this comes up on Twitter, Facebook, forums, asking about being taxed on baseball card sales. Should I report? If eBay doesn't send me a 1099, should I still report? The answer is yes, because it's tax evasion if you don't. So I've never had, and of course, it's also a gray area, because if you're spending $10,000 on cards and you sold $8,000 in cards, there's nothing to really tax you on. So I have reached the point that I will be receiving a 1099 from eBay for sales that eclipse their mark. So I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right. And the only advice I will offer is, if you have this question, or if you ever have this question, don't ask Twitter, don't ask Facebook, don't ask the internet, ask your accountant. If you don't have an accountant, hire one. That's the advice I can give. So I had a call meeting with my accountant yesterday afternoon. We went through it. He actually told me, he said, I have 4 or 5 clients that have asked me for the first time about baseball card sales this year. So that's how crazy it has reached in 2020. So we talked about that, and he just gave me advice on, okay, you know, this is what you can count as an expense. Don't count this. This is where you need to be. Buy as much. I love the advice he gave. Buy as much stuff as you can before the end of the year, even if it's stuff you don't want. As long as you can count it towards an expense, buy it. That was awesome advice, and that was the first thing I told my wife. He told me to buy more cards. I said that jokingly. So that's the advice I can give. If you have any questions about your baseball card sales and if you should be reporting them for tax purposes, ask your accountant. And if you don't have an accountant, get one. And that's all I have to say about that. George is with us. What's happening? KBO Collections. Your cards arrived at the Chicago airport a day ago. Sweet. That is really fast because the mail and delivery services are at a snail's pace right now. I have two regional flat rate boxes coming to me from Elk Grove, Illinois, which is a 2-hour drive from me. Okay. They were shipped out, I believe, on Saturday. I think they were shipped out on Saturday. Only one has reached me 1 week later. One arrived, I think, on Tuesday, and the other one is still in transit. I checked the tracking, still in transit. The mail is just insanely slow right now. So that's awesome that it's arrived. It'll probably sit in Chicago for another week. My last thing that I wanted to touch on this morning was all of the new products that are coming out. And this kind of came top of mind this morning. Jenny reached out, tagged me in a tweet. Somebody was asking if they were opening any Allen and Ginter Chrome. And somebody tweeted this week about getting hosed on Topps Black Chrome, and I've seen several tweets about Black Chrome that came out a couple weeks ago. I saw yesterday. I honestly thought this was a joke. Garbage Pail Kids Sapphire Edition. I honestly thought that was a joke. Hey, if you collect Garbage Pail Kids and if you like the product, that's cool. But as an outsider looking in, I'm just, what? So there's a lot of products, and I'm passing on a lot. And yeah, KBO says he took it in the rear. Black Chrome. So I've become very cautious in what I'm buying. There have been times in the past where Topps released an online exclusive and I was gobbling it up. I've been more picky this year on what I'm buying. And I bought the Ben Baller Chrome strictly to flip, and I made a good profit on it. I held off on Sapphire because the price went up. So basically you received the same box as you did last year for 6x the price. So last year I think they were $50 a box. This year $300. There was just no room to flip. I'm not sure what those secondary prices are now, but I can't imagine they're much more over that retail price. So I stayed away from that. I stayed away from Black Chrome. I'm staying away from Allen and Ginter Chrome. I don't believe Allen and Ginter should have a Chrome. I hate the, and I have some, maybe I don't. The parallels, the hot boxes, I hate those. Those are the X. I did buy Allen and Ginter X. That's something that I do like. I think the black borders, and that's something I can show. I think these really pop. They're really sharp. So I did buy a box of that, and I think they were only $100. So I felt that was a good buy. And I for opening for my own collecting purposes. In Bowman Draft First Edition, I bought that because I love Bowman, and I'm not going to buy any hobby of Bowman Draft. So I bought the Bowman Draft First Edition, and I felt that was a pretty good deal as well. KBO says StockX the Sapphire is about $380. Yikes! Yeah, so there's not much skin in the game, not much meat on the bone. But I'm not sure what StockX. I'm not sure what their fees are or anything. But even if it's $380 out the door, you're paying $10 for shipping, and after tax, I mean that it's not that $300 plus you're paying about $20 in tax and shipping. Because I think my Bowman Draft went from $300 to like $316, $318 after everything. So, say $320 and minus shipping $370 to $320, that's $50. And I'm not sure if there are fees attached. If there are, that, drops your $50 net to basically break even, or a little bit of a profit. Yikes. Yeah, I'm glad I stayed away from that. So yeah, I'm just being careful on the online releases. Seller probably getting 20 or 30. Yeah. After everything, that's probably what the net is, because I'm sure there's a fee on StockX. I'm just not sure whether it's an insertion fee or it's a final value fee. There's something attached to sell on that platform. So yeah, I think a Stadium Club Chrome is coming out. I'm staying away from that. I'm not dabbling in Allen and Ginter Chrome. I'm sure the Bowman waves that have been released, I think those have been sold out fast. I'm not getting into that. I think I'm basically staying out of any upcoming online exclusives that I know of, unless something comes up that intrigues me, as a fan, because I think the days of a quick flip like the Ben Baller, I think those days are over. I think Ben Baller was the last of the quick flip where I can buy this for 300 or 200 and flip it for $5. I think we've really Topps has realized they're losing out on money. Good for them. I mean, they're in it to make money. You can't blame them. This is what they're in business. They're not in business for charity to make us happy with our collections. They're in it to make money. So they're raising the prices to meet the demand. And I think overall there's a flood of these online exclusives. So there's not as much there's not as much of a demand, especially in the flipping game, because the prices have gone up so high. Steve Aoki is another one. I'm staying out of Steve Aoki because I actually like the design and wanted the 100-card set for $100. And see, that's good. And see, that is 100 cards for $100. And if you want it, that's a great buy. If you're into, that's like with me and Allen and Ginter X and Bowman Draft First Edition. I thought it was a good price point for what it was for me as a collector, and that's why I bought those products. And I know a lot of people stayed out of both of those for whatever reasons. And basically, it comes down to collect what you like. And that's what I said. If you like Garbage Pail Kids and this is something new and shiny, I'm sure there are. Well, I know there are, because it's going to sell. There's a lot of people, a lot of collectors that are into Garbage Pail Kids that are going to be foaming at the mouth trying to get these boxes of Garbage Pail Kids Sapphire. It's just not, Garbage Pail Kids, if they released a Garbage Pail Kid, I'm not going to be buying it. It's just not something that I collect. And, if you do, that's okay. If you don't, that's also okay. So that's kind of where I'm standing with all of these new releases, where there was a point in time, I think probably 2017, where I was buying a lot of the online exclusives, and a lot was like 4. The Topps has always done the Throwback Thursday. I love Throwback Thursday. I haven't bought any for a while. Early on, I was buying some of the Topps Living cards. I bought 9 of the Javi Baez, which I'm kind of kicking myself now. Like, I don't need 9 of those. I spent $50 for 9 cards that I should have paid $7 or $8 for one. And I never got into Topps Now. I bought, I think, 2 Topps Now cards from Topps or a reseller. I bought 1 because I was at the game, and I bought a second because it was Javi Baez, and I think it was the Javi was released right at the same time as his Topps Living. And those I bought from a famous Topps reseller that I will never, ever, ever, ever buy from again. And I think you all know who that is. So that's what I've got going on. I think I may open another one of my NBA Hoops sets. I have 3 left. I may open one more this month. just I think maybe for opening night of the NBA, which hopefully still is on schedule for December 22nd. I may open up another set. I did list a whole bunch of them last night, and 2 nights ago I listed like the higher valued ones, Zion, Ja, and then I listed some last night. And I accidentally, when I'm listing some of these, sometimes I don't click either it's default to auction, or I just kind of miss that, and I'll put like a 99-cent card accidentally on auction. And I've done that, like, I don't know, say the last 5 times I've done that, 2 out of 5 times the card sells for more than 99 cents. So that gave me the idea last night. The bidding went up to $1.25, like within an hour of me listing that card. And I'm thinking, I'm probably leaving a lot of money on the table with some of my 99-cent store listings. And I'm still obviously going to list a bunch of cards at 99 cents free shipping, 99centcards.com. But I think with newer stuff, like I was listing a lot of the premium stock NBA hoops for 99 cents. I think I'm leaving some money on the table. And since it's still a really new product, I think I still have a big stack, especially the semi-stars and the stars. I'm going to throw those at like a 5-day auction. That's what I was doing last night, 5-day auction. So they end on Wednesday night, which is a pretty good night, I think, for auctions. Wednesday, Thursday are good nights. So I think I'm going to do that 99 cents and maybe get, a few more cents out of those cards since they are so new. A lot of the older stuff I'll still be listing 99 cents, but I think for like new stuff, I'll go the 99-cent auction route, just to try to capture an extra dollar, quarter, whatever it may be. So that's all I had on that. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, George, for joining in this morning. It is Saturday. Enjoy the day. I'm not even sure what games are being played today as far as football goes. Wisconsin, the Badgers, I didn't watch the game, but man, they got beat last second tip in by Marquette. That's the one game that I don't want to lose. In-state Milwaukee team. So I don't know what other games are on today. I don't even know if Badgers football plays today. It seems like every 1millioncubs.com. eBay store is 99centcards.com. That's 99 cent CENT cards CARDS.com. 99centcards.com. The cent is singular. 99centcards.com. Buy 3 or more, and a lot of those 99-cent cards in the store, you could even get 10% off those. Get them for 89 cents, and the shipping is free. 99centcards.com. Thanks for tuning in. Also today, 1millioncubs.com. I hope to have up my story behind the mail day earlier this week from Brian in Chicago on the Archives Wrigley season ticket set. So awesome story behind that. If not today, I'll get it up published tomorrow, but I'm still working on that. So hopefully have that up at 1millioncubs.com. Have a great Saturday. Back tomorrow.